If you want the Raiders to hire Ben Johnson, then you need to watch that Lions offense in their playoff game Saturday night against the Washington Commanders. I'm Mitchell Renz, host of the Raiders Report, and coming up here on today's show, I'm going to give everybody from the nation 5 things that I want them to watch for, because I get it. I know how much the nation wants Ben Johnson. I see it all the time. I see all the BJs that people are spamming. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure those notifications are turned on. I want to be live for this game, and I'm hoping that I can do a watch party. I need y'all to rally, though, in our Chiefs-Texans game before that. But I'm serious when I say this. If you want Ben Johnson, you better watch this freaking game, and you better get your Kleenex, and you better get your lotion ready to go. Let's go to the first thing that I want all Raider fans to watch when it comes to Ben Johnson. I want you to watch the offensive chemistry that Detroit has in the first, second, third, fourth quarter, first, second, third, fourth down, just how much of a well-oiled machine they look. They look like that they've been using a lot of things that help out with a BJ. Lions ran the most plays this season with 1,118 and scored the most points per game at 33.2. I like that because when they need to hurry up, they can hurry up. When they need to kill the clock, they can kill the clock. They can beat you through the air. They can beat you through the ground. And they just run a very well-balanced attack for 4 quarters. Also, one of the things that I love about Ben Johnson is how creative he is on third and fourth down. Watch the plays that he designs to get his playmakers open. Watch all the misdirection, all the shifts, because that guy loves a good shift. And Ben Johnson on third down this season, the Lions offense, 4th best in the NFL. Converting on fourth down, 6th best in the NFL. And in this league, when you got to move the ball as consistent and when you're calling the amount of plays that Detroit is, it's not rocket science. The more plays you call and the more drives you extend, the better chance you have of putting points up on the board. Ben Johnson understands that better than anybody, and I want you to watch how well that chemistry is on that offensive side of the football. Let's go to the next thing here. Generating explosive plays. An explosive play in the league is 20-plus yards, whether it's through the air, whether it's on the ground. And the Lions are the best team in the NFL. They rank number 1 in most explosive plays. One of the things that drove me nuts about Luke Getsy's offense, Josh McDaniels' offense, is they tried to dink and dunk you, and they loved a good 10-play drive, 11-play drive, 12-play drive. It's really tough to sustain that many long drives through the course of a game, through the course of a season, which is why the Raiders weren't able to score a lot of points. But for Detroit, they have a lot of talent. They have a good quarterback. They have a lot of different ways that they can beat you, and I understand that. But when you watch the schemes, when you watch how this play sets up that play, and then all of a sudden, bang, it's an explosive play, watch how many of those end up happening, but also watch the setup that Ben Johnson does. Nobody right now, I think, is better than BJ, and there's a reason why. I think he is the next Andy Reid. I think he is the next Sean McVay. I think that bright minds like this cannot go unnoticed. If you love this picture right here, shout out to my guy Raiders Designs on IG for making it for me. If you love that picture right there and you want Ben Johnson in Vegas, man, I'm telling you right now, I want you to hit that like button so hard your mom and your dad are questioning what you're doing in your bedroom. Let's go to the next thing that you got to watch against the Commanders. The red zone schemes. If there's one thing that drives me up a wall is when a team, maybe especially the Raiders, drives down the entire way, and then they switch up everything that they're doing. Once they get to the 40, once they get into the red zone, then near the 20-yard line, and everything starts to change. Ben Johnson does what he's supposed to do. He takes what the defense gives it. He takes exactly what his offense is being set up to do. And I love the plays, the creativity that he does in the red zone. Like, he's got to have an entire offensive playbook dedicated just to plays at almost every single yard line, because with the plays that he draws up, you sit there and you go, why don't more NFL coaches do this? But the Lions, they average the most red zone scoring attempts per game at 4.2, and then the Lions and the Ravens are tied for the most touchdowns. I want touchdowns when I make it to the red zone. I don't want field goals, and I get it. They got Dan Campbell. He's ballsy, but he's ballsy because he knows his offense can convert, and they do convert. And he's also ballsy because he knows he's got the best OC in the game right now in Ben Johnson. So when you're getting down there 4.2 times and you're punching in a touchdown 2.9% of the time, or not percent of the time, but 2.9 out of 4.2, that is a very good conversion rate. Watch Ben Johnson in the red zone. It looks so much easier than anything I've seen over the Raiders through the course of basically my entire Raiders fandom. I'll get into more things to watch for here in just a moment, but today's sponsor is Game Time. You might not remember the score, though I'm hoping that you remember the score of this Lions game because I am hoping Detroit gets a win over the Commanders here. But bottom line is this. If anybody wants to go watch this game in person, it's going to be probably an unbelievable experience in Detroit. And Game Time is focused on bringing people together in 2025 and creating those lasting memories. Game Time also has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for live events even easier. So what I love about the Game Time app is that you get the lowest price guarantee on any ticket to any event, the all-in pricing so you don't get slapped with those crazy fees at checkout, and flash deals so you get even cheaper tickets the closer you wait to game time. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets today. Go to the Game Time app, download it, create an account, use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply again. Create an account, redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today, and if you're wondering what time is it, it's game time, guys. Like, I mean this. I use Game Time. I've gotten tickets here for my dad, for my fiance, for my fiance's dad, for my mother-in-law. Like, I have used Game Time so many times, and when you go back and you think, like, oh, man, like, I remember that. Oh, I remember that. I remember that. It's always a good little reminder, and it's like when you take a trip somewhere. You kind of have those memories in the back of your head, and being able to have those for a long time, which is why I love Game Time. So that link's down in the comments. It's down in the description. Shout out to Game Time for sponsoring the Raiders Report. Let's go to another thing that I really, really want people to watch. Second half adjustments. There is not a team better in the NFL on the offensive side of the football than making adjustments coming out of halftime. We know the Raiders were really good at drawing up that first drive, getting a touchdown, and then basically not doing anything for 3 quarters. Watch what Ben Johnson does. He takes exactly what he learns from the first half, and he applies it in the second half. And that's exactly what good coaches do. It's exactly what good teams do, and I think it's one of the parts of why I'm so confident Ben Johnson is going to be a good head coach. Because the Detroit Lions lead the NFL in third quarter scoring. They average 8.9 points in the third quarter. There is not another NFL team out there that averages more points than that. And quite frankly, when you look at a lot of the averages, it's not really close. Also, Ben Johnson is just being able to draw up a great play for the second half, where one of the things that would drive me nuts that McDaniels and Getsy would do is I felt like they would create a game plan, and they're like, even if that game plan didn't work in the second quarter, or if the defense figured it out at the back end of that first half, they're going, we're rolling with that game plan in the third and fourth quarter. That's not what Ben Johnson, that's not what the Lions do. They go with the game plan. If it's working, then they're going to figure out how to do it a little bit better in the second half, or they crinkle it up, they throw it out, and they go with a brand new game plan. Ben Johnson is so intelligent. He's playing chess, and everybody else is playing checkers. Let's go to the final reason here of why I want you guys to watch Ben Johnson's offense. It's the fun, creative plays. This is why he is the most sought-out NFL head coach candidate. This is why he was the top candidate last season as well, because there's nobody that is more entertaining, and there's nobody that runs a more entertaining offense in the NFL right now than Ben Johnson. The way he uses offensive linemen, the way he uses tight ends, wide receivers, running backs. Like, he does a great job being able to set up plays, and he's always one step ahead. Like, he's doing one play because he's already going 3 plays from now, I'm going to be able to drop this one on you. When you watch motion, and I think a lot of people that know me, they know I love pre-snap motion. I can't believe more NFL teams don't do it. Watch how much pre-snap motion. Watch how many shifts. And this has got to be a talking point where if you're going to run a Ben Johnson offense, you got to be able to have a quarterback that you're okay audibling at the line, killing plays at the line, making shifts at the line based on what the defense gives you. You need a smart guy. I think Shador could be one of those dudes, and it's just a name that I'm throwing out there. I think Aiden could be an interesting guy in terms of shift misdirections. But all those shifts, all those misdirections, all that motion, it helps out the offensive line. It creates chaos on the back end, and when you have a well-coached team because of your offensive chemistry, that's when the explosive plays start happening. Watch how much shifts, watch how much motion, watch how misdirection, watch how much confusion Ben Johnson tries to call on every single down. But you know what? We do it a little bit more here on the Raiders Report. I can't just give you 5 reasons. Let's go bonus one. Watch how in control, watch how cool, calm, and collected Jared Goff is the entire game. Because I've always said a smart offensive mind, you put a good offense and you have what you're trying to build, you build it around your quarterback. You build it around his strengths. And Goff has always been somebody that I've said is a amazing dude in terms of play action. And they use a lot of play action. They use a lot of misdirection. They make you think you're going to go one way and then bang, you're going to go somewhere else. But when you watch Goff and when you look at a lot of the intangibles he has, he's not this unbelievable athlete. But he has gotten better and better and better since going to Detroit. And he's gotten much better since working with Ben Johnson. And, I do think this, and I'm not going to sit up here and say that I want Aiden O'Connell to be the quarterback next season, but I've gotten into a debate with a lot of people where if the Raiders want to go with a bridge, right, if you want to have a bridge quarterback for 1 year because maybe you want Shador to sit for a year, or if you're the let's tank for Arch, right? Chugs and I were just joking about it. That's why I brought it up. But, if you do want a bridge quarterback, I think Aiden could do it with Ben Johnson because Aiden is not that far off from Jared Goff. Now, don't get me wrong. I think Aiden is the Dollar General version of what Goff is. And I would say Goff is no doubt a top 10 quarterback, where I say Aiden is a fringe top 30 quarterback. But AOC would get better underneath Ben. Giggity. He's also going to be able to show you a little bit more growth. And then he's got one more year on that final deal. I think Aiden is a really good backup quarterback in the NFL and a fringe starter on certain teams that are looking to find their future quarterback. And maybe that's the situation that the Raiders are in. But if you're somebody out there that believes in Aiden O'Connell just a little bit, watch how in control Jared Goff is and go, I wonder if Aiden O'Connell could run that offense. Because really, if you put Aiden on that Detroit team, they're not as good as what they are, but I do think that they're playoff caliber good because of how stacked that overall roster is and how good of a play caller Ben Johnson is. So before I get out of here, though, again, make sure you're subscribed. I'm going to be live for Texans-Chiefs, and the plan is I want to just stay live, not go anywhere for Lions-Washington. I need y'all to pull up, though. I need you to be there. If you like hanging out with Jeremy Chugs and I know I'll see you there Monday. Hopefully the Texans win. Hopefully the Lions have a good game. And you know what, man? Let's go Irish.